Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeon Stories. We got a brand new episode continuing off from where the last one stopped, because that's how stories work.
Oh
Here
yeah.
at the top of the show, we'd like to take a moment to shout out some of our friends like Roll20.net, which is this wonderful digital tabletop that we have in front of us that allows us to play Dungeons and Dragons together, even though we are not together physically, even though we are separated by, I was going to say states, but we're all in the same state. We're just in different cities.
Places of the
A little bit
state.
further away.
But like if you were states away, you could do it too. Um, if you were countries away, you could do it as long as you had internet. That's all it takes to play Roll20. That's all it takes to play D&D on Roll20.net. You get the point. Next up, we'd like to say thank you to D&D Beyond. dndbeyond.com is a digital resource site for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. You can make character sheets on there. If you're DM, you can make encounters. You can then run those encounters with auto initiative tracking. You can do a bunch of homebrew stuff on it. That's really cool. It's a fantastic resource. It makes things really simple, and it's really good if you know someone who's looking to get into D&D. D&D Beyond is a great gateway because it makes things really simple and really easy to understand, so it makes the game a lot easier to dive into for someone who might be a little intimidated by the game. Which, if you're looking to play D&D, don't be intimidated. Do it. It's really fun. That's why we come back every week to make this show. And then finally, last but not least, we'd like to say thank you to our friends HeroForge.com. They allow you to make miniatures for your tabletop role-playing games that can be not just Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe you play Call of Cthulhu. Maybe you play Cyberpunk. They've got you covered on Hero Forge because they have miniatures for a ton of different genres of role-playing game, and you can make just about anything you want. So check out HeroForge.com, make your own miniature. That's where we got our lovely character tokens. So with that, now that we have thanked our wonderful friends, my name is Norin, and I am your Dungeon Master.
I'm Easton. I'm Azel the human monk.
I'm Jenny. I play Alondra, the elf paladin.
And I'm Michael. I play Aaron, the half-elf, half-dwarvish wizard.
All right. Well, what say you, friends, that we recap last session?
Do we have to? Do we have to expose ourselves like this?
I think we do. I think it's time.
Damn it.
Last session, the party began interrogating Josephine, the girl who had returned from her disappearance, and they were intrigued by Josephine's lack of emotion and insistence that the children had a plan and that the party need not concern themselves with their rescue any longer. To Alondra and Aaron's surprise, Azel agreed with Josephine and tried to get the party to leave the house. Sensing something was wrong, Alondra struck Josephine, who revealed herself to be an Oblex impersonation, attacking before fleeing out of the building. Aaron rushed next door to the house of the boy who had returned, Duncan, and found his parents under the same charm that had befallen Josephine's parents and Azel. Utilizing his ring of disappearance, Aaron turned invisible and snuck inside the house while Azel distracted Duncan's father. Aaron unleashed a lightning-fueled dragon's breath at Duncan, who also revealed himself to be an Oblex impersonation. The party gave chase to the fleeing Oblex, who was attempting to climb up the bell tower of the church. The party scrambled to access the height that the Oblex was on and engaged it in a battle that left Alondra and Azel unconscious before Aaron managed to finish the foul creature off with a firebolt. After being healed by worshippers of Stelnos, the party must decide on their next course of action. So, you have been revived. You are currently in the church here, dedicated to Stelnos, the deity of the moon and stars, and you have just slain this goop. There is like kind of charred puddles of ooze around. You've kind of come to, and the patrons at this place of worship, as well as its attendants, the clerics and paladins of Stelnos that operate here, are kind of looking at the three of you. And wonder, kind of asking you like, what happened? What was that? Are there more of them? Are we safe? And there's just this general air of unease.
Girl, I don't know.
I'm assuming I'm probably, at least I probably would have had more time with the paladins than the other two, as they just got revived, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were pretty quick to
Okay, good.
raise them. So, but I mean, you definitely, I guess, for the like 5 or 10 minutes that it took them to get around to everybody, you were probably with them, kind of aiding them.
If Hazel sees Alondra, he's gonna be like very kind of like skeptical, like poke her and like withdraw a little bit, like.
What's wrong with you?
You go out and poke her, and your finger kind of sinks in a few inches. No, I'm just kidding. She's fine.
Nothing. Just. Yeah, nothing. We're good. We're good.
I'll ask the.
Even more weirder than usual.
Man, you kicked me
It's
down
true.
some stairs. You kicked me down the stairs. I bonked my head.
I did no such thing.
I took a sweet nap. I had a dream. And
I've
then
been
I woke up.
unconscious on the bell tower. That was not me.
Was that the ooze thing?
I'll ask the clerics and paladins. Have you had any leads whatsoever on the missing children? Because that's what we have been about.
One of them will step forward. This is a priest dressed in cloth robes. Looks to be a dragonborn with this deep blue, almost black scales. They kind of reflect the light. They look kind of like starlight. This dragonborn, she walks up to you and she says, Here in this temple, we were not involved. The priests and clerics like myself, we weren't as directly involved as the paladins specifically were. But their investigations hadn't yielded much information, at least not any that was very useful. It was a rather stupefying case. If there were kidnappers, if it was a physical taking, the perpetrators left no physical evidence behind, at least as far as our eyes could tell. Beyond that, once the two returned, most of us, we assumed that things were coming to a head, and the children seemed a little unable to speak on what had happened to them. So
I'll say, well, that was because they happened to be the ooze that we just fought. They were not, in fact, the children, but a ruse, a trap set by the captors themselves.
with when you say that, so the parents from next door, now that their charms have worn off, both sets of parents, both Josephine's parents and Duncan's two fathers, are going to come in, and they've kind of been here like after the fight had left and after you kind of stormed out of their house and that charm have dropped off. So when you mention that, they're very, like, obviously going to look very upset by this news. And Josephine's father speaks up and says, "So if those weren't our kids, then where are we? Are we back to where we started with no evidence? Have we
We
truly
have
lost all
some.
hope?" What you said? We have some. What evidence do we have?
I think as far as physical, tangible evidence, we don't have any, right, guys? I think we just have I mean the parents saw the kids turn, and then we just have like our like everywhere we've
Yeah,
gone with the Alphronis sisters, all the things have gone crazy. So
we. I mean, we. I don't know if it's much of a lead, but we know that they're using like the Ublex, I think is what it's called. They're using like whether like the Athrona sisters themselves are Ublex or whether they're like utilizing or like taming Ublex or something like that. So at least we know like what to look out for now more than like um, just trinkets having this weird tangible magic or something.
The Ublex also did mention, which I don't know if it's true, but that the children are apparently held in a mansion in the Wither Bloom Forest. That's what we were able to get out from Josephine, but who knows if that's true. It's,
The Dragonborn with the deep blue scales, who earlier had introduced herself to you as Draka, Draka, Draka. She says, "Yes, it seems that if any evidence that we gathered from the children, or I guess rather the creatures, whatever evidence we gathered from them should be taken with a grain of salt at the very least." You said that you believe the Elfronis sisters to be involved in this somehow.
There's kind of a lot of evidence that seems to suggest their involvement. Part or what we've been finding, maybe they're not directly involved, but I mean, most of the trinkets that we've been finding that have been something that the Alphronis sisters have sold turns out to have this dark magic about it. So it's whether it's coincidence or not, it involves the Alphronis sisters.
I see. So, anyone with one of their goods is possibly at risk. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
say at a high risk.
What my friend said.
I see. We will be sure to begin spreading the word. Thank you for all that you've done. You have shown our investigators to, well, to put it lightly, you've put them to shame with what you've uncovered. So thank you for your dedication and your hard work. I may not have children myself, but I can assure you that those in town that do are in your debt.
you're welcome. We just hope we can bring these children home as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so as well. Do you?
Would you happen?
Would I
I
happen?
apologize.
No, please continue.
Would you happen to have? I mean, truth be told, we've hunted down these sisters from neighboring towns, and we've put a lot of effort, and quite literally, you've seen us nearly lay down our lives for this matter. Is there any way that we might get any assistance, be it uh, arcanist supplies, potions, or any sort of aid that you might be able to grant us as we continue to hunt this down for your whole city, really, for each of the families who is lost?
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
And as you say that, Avaros is going to pop in your head and he's going to say,
Ooh.
quite clever, leveraging their despair like that. I didn't know you had it in you, Aaron.
We'll just kind of push him further in the bag. So we'll talk later.
I'm sorry, are
I
you
think
talking?
we'll talk later.
All right, so
that's an 18.
18. Yes, Draka is going to say, of course, we have a few potions that we could gift you. It is the least that we could do. She says, please wait here a moment and I will return. She turns and she's gone for probably about 3 minutes and then comes back. And she has 4 health potions.
Oh,
Cool.
They're just the base level.
Oh,
The
well,
2d4
still.
plus 2, but
Absolute unit.
but she will give 4 of them to you.
Nice. Okay, not paper, but I will take it. Paper can't help me if I'm dead.
Alondra would turn to Draka and ask, in this establishment, would it be possible for me to obtain some holy water and some parchment filled with holy text that you may not use? It seems like I might need these components for some spells of my own.
Yes, we have. We can spare holy water, and these texts must they contain a specific? Must they be tied to a specific deity or?
No, not to my understanding.
All right. Well, then yes, we have a few scrolls pertaining stories of Stelnos and her predecessors. Their predecessors. My bad. Draka would have said their predecessors. Not. That was just me. But Draka says, I will retrieve these as well. Anything else that I might search for you brave adventurers?
Do you have a yew leaf, perchance?
Paper and a yew leaf. I will look. Bear with me a moment.
Some silver? Just kidding.
Well, okay, now we're pushing it.
Alondra, why do you need a yew leaf?
My kids aren't missing.
We just go around the town asking
all of your gold in the bag now.
We come accepting gifts. They're like,
taking them?
Do you mean bearing
In
gifts?
your
No, accepting gifts.
Do you want your kids or not?
Pay up, bitches. So with that, she will leave, and she will return with a couple, let's say, 3 vials of holy water, just little like small little vials topped with cork. So 3 vials of holy water. She found like a yew sprig, so it's like a little branch off of a yew tree with a few leaves on it. She has a little kind of a book that's bound with twine, about like it's like a pocket Bible essentially of
Yes.
So you have your little Stelnos pocket Bible.
Yes.
And then Aaron, she returns with a pretty hearty stack of fine paper. These are priests and clerics, so they need pretty pretty substantial parchment to do their work upon. So this, you definitely get the feeling that this will fit your needs. Do you want weight or gold worth? What is more helpful to you?
Uh, yeah, Goldworth is the best because
That's the
it's
best
like,
measurement for you.
yeah, I think the thing is, it just costs like for each level of a spell, it's 50 gold pieces
It's
materials.
expensive to be a wizard. You're a
It's
wizard, Harry.
it's very expensive, and
I'll
I'm
say
poor.
I'll say she gives you a stack of 50 here. 50 gold worth of parchment.
Ooh, okay.
One
Damn.
little spell.
So you've got that. She says, is there any other way that we can be of service? Do you need a place to rest tonight?
Yes. I thought that would be very much appreciated.
I thought we paid for those rooms.
Never mind. I appreciate
With
it.
the traveler. I mean, with the old adventurer kind of guy.
With Bart.
With Bart
Yeah, that's...
With Bart Simpson.
at the Rough Hewn, I believe is what this one was
My
called.
shorts.
Yes.
Eat my shorts.
Yeah, we have a room.
All right, well, please do not hesitate to seek me out should you need assistance of any kind. We are more than willing to make ourselves of service to you as you continue to aid us and our neighbors to the west. I had to do the never eat soggy waffles. So with that, Draka bids you farewell. She kind of does a little bow and then turns on her heel, and her tail does like a little like delayed, so she turns around and then walks away, and then her tail kind of like follows behind her as she walks away. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do? It was fairly early when you guys headed out to Josephine, so at this point it's probably midday.
Yep.
With all the time that you spent there. So you still have about half a day before sundown. Is there anything else in Kabul that you need to investigate? Anything that you need to, any business to take care of?
No, I got my spell components. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I probably... let's see. You gave me a spell scroll, and that's right now the only one I have.
Yeah, I think it was for
Give it to
knock, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say it's knock right now, so... Actually, knock is 2nd level, so never mind.
Ooh.
I can't transcribe it if I wanted to.
Oh, you don't have 2nd level yet?
No, I do, but that would be 100 gold.
Oh, jeez.
Worth of parchment.
It's 50 per level? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, per level. So.
Oh, I thought it was per... Oof. Sorry.
No, Aaron like looks in his bag and he's like, "Oh man."
How many total do you have? You got some in Kabul, didn't you? Or you're in Kabul now? You got some
17 gold worth of paper in Kabul.
in Rebelton.
Yeah,
so you have 67 now between Rebelton and Kabul. You've collected 67 gold.
Yeah.
You guys need to get paid.
Yeah, we do. We have not gotten paid whatsoever. So
You guys need to get paid. Okay, so anything else? Azel, any business for you?
I think maybe just resting up would probably be his priority.
Okay.
Seeing, like,
That's
start
fair.
resting.
Yeah,
Maybe,
right on.
Using his time to start resting and start reading his book.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So if there's no other business, then you guys can for sure spend the rest of your day kind of recuperating, talking amongst yourselves or finding a respite in a quiet space if you need a little bit of time. And you guys can, evening rolls around. Bart has a meal for you. Again, he's given you food on the house for protecting his tavern from that mimic earlier,
nice.
and clearing out those Elfronis items. So he's definitely grateful to you. So Bart's definitely going to let you eat and drink on the house.
Is there a library in the town? How big is this town? It's pretty small, right?
It's like a mid-sized town. Like, it's not big, but it's not a village either. Probably population 400.
Okay, cool.
So it's not massive, but there's a maybe not a library, but a bookstore, um,
Oh,
and you can feel free. The owner isn't too picky about browsing, as long as you're not just.
I will gladly peruse.
Yeah, he's not too picky about it. He does. If you try and if you bring a stack over to a table in the corner and sit down, and your intent is clearly just to consume reading material without paying, you get the sense he'd be a little upset. But if you just kind of browse a bit, he's not too bad. Is there something particular you're looking for?
I guess anything on like arcane or history.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely. Um, I would say you're definitely going to find more information, just general history, than you are going to be about specifically arcana. And as a wizard, you would know this. Arcane magic is viewed as a little wild and a little unsophisticated. Most people, and a lot of this is due to the narrative that the deities themselves have pushed. But most people believe that divine magic is safer, more controllable, and just generally more refined than arcane magic, where you're just blindly tapping into the mana that flows through the earth. So there's going to be less information on the arcane. But as far as like general history goes, um, there's there's quite a bit. Is there is there a specific instance that you are looking for, or anything that, or just kind of whatever you can get your hands on?
Yeah, I would probably say really just like anything I can get my hands on. Probably like particularly like old ruins, like anything that's like ancient. Um, Especially if I can see anything perhaps on the names that I've heard along with my snake, then I would certainly try and see if I can find that. I'm not expecting to find too much, but just anything ancient or along those names, those historical figures.
Sure. And like the Codex, like that book that you're.
Yeah, yeah, just anything in that realm specifically.
Okay. Um, yeah, for sure. I'd say that you definitely are able to find you find a memoir from a soldier who fought in the original war when the deities were uh, kind of fighting that war where they were deciding whether they were going to let the mortals like kind of be free, or if they were going to look at them more as slaves, like that kind of initial conflict between them. Some of these deities had mortals fighting for them as armies, and so you find a journal for one of the soldiers here, and he is telling the story of this fort called Honorhold, this kind of this keep, and it's in Zorinth, this continent to the south. Um, it's a fort called Honorhold. It's been protected by a family of orcs since it started, and uh, this like memoir, this journal, is written by one of those orcs, one of the families that protected it, um, and he is telling the story of he was fighting with in the army of at that time the god of war and strategy, who at that point in time during the second generation would have been Cthulra. Was at that time the second generation for the war and strategy was Cthulra, um, and he's telling the story about this meeting that Cthulra had with a god who was one of the ones that kind of started, was a reason the war started. One of the ones that was not part of the prime domains, one of those secondary gods, the ones that were uh, like a second child. And this god that this book describes is a a being of hatred and revenge named Zahik, Zihik, and it seems that Cthulhu formed a sort of deal with Zahik to help um, aid in the battles. Zahik, with their powers being revenge, they are Zahik was a very powerful god that was very fierce in battle, and so Cthulhu and Zahik they teamed up and to kind of get back at the other side um, that they would have been battling. And Zahik mentions a book known as the Codex. Um, he he says that the Codex is he he's basically presenting the Codex to Cthulhu and saying this book, if you can decipher it and unlock its secrets, can help you defeat even the strongest of gods. He said some might even call it the God's End.
Nice.
So,
Okay, perfect.
So that is a story that you're able to find in this tale from Honorhold.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Then I'll ask the snake. What do you know of this? In your wise mind.
Averos will say, hold on, I gotta find his voice. The fact that you were able to, was that it? That's it now. The fact that you were able to.
It's a little bit more Celtish than it was, but
shoot,
sounds good.
I gotta find my posh. The fact that you were able to tell of the Codex at all, especially in this small backwater cesspool, is quite impressive, and you know that doesn't come lightly. Though I will say, finding the information here has less to do with your prowess and more to do with dumb luck, but that's beside the point.
Oof.
The mention of Zahik is interesting. Zahik and our dear friend Severin traditionally did not get along very well. So while I do not know, and of course few do know, Severin's true intentions, in fact I doubt anyone but Severin themselves know their true intentions. I find it interesting that they are so keen on tracking down this item belonging to one of their closest enemies.
Perhaps I should leave you here. See what dumb luck might stumble upon you in this library of sorts.
Let him know! Let him know, dude!
As much as the proposition of leaving you behind excites me, I don't think that would serve either of us very well. Like it or not, our goals seem to be tied to one another, at least for now.
You are true. You need me. I need you.
And that is our lot for now.
For now.
All right. Anybody have any other business?
Other than reading my book and kind of like going back over the letter my father had for me, nothing really.
Okay. Yeah. You again. You're pretty familiar with your book and the story that it tells. This gift from your father. Um, you have read this front to back many times. So you again, and you can almost like skip to your favorite passages in it. But yeah, for sure, you can definitely do that. And with that, if no one else has anything else, go ahead and take a long rest.
Oh, thank
Yes,
goodness.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes, sir. We're in here, dude.
So you are all pretty worn out, I would say. It was a tough day. A creature unlike anything you had really encountered before. But you bested it. You came out on top. You are feeling rested and recharged. And you awake to a knock on your door. Remind me,
Oh,
did you
boy.
all have separate rooms or were you
I think we all roomed together.
you all roomed together? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so all three of you awake to a knock on your door. And it kind of rouses you from your slumber.
Okay. I'm up. I'm up. I got
I'll
it.
use Mage Hand to open the door.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah,
Classy.
you you kind of have paper kind of scattered around you, and without brushing the paper off of your head, you just kind of like wave your hand, and your little ghost hand pulls open the door, revealing Bart standing in your doorway. And he looks at you with his salt and pepper hair and his big bushy mustache, and he says, I thought you might be interested. Usually you would know there would be fanfare and children cheering, but since the information that you delivered to the temple last night, attitudes have changed. But I thought I should let you know the Alphronis sisters have come into town this morning.
Oh, bitch! Let me at him.
Okay.
They are set up in their usual spot. If you find the pond in the middle of town, they're on the edge closest to the center of town. So you guys can pull up. I sent that map in Discord, so you guys can pull that up. I would show it on screen. Ooh, it does have the artist's name. I thought I didn't have the artist's name, but I do have the artist's name.
Heck yeah, brother.
Nice.
Shout out to Rusty Mob.
Shout out to Rusty Mab. Rusty Mob?
Mab.
Rusty Mab.
Whoever you are.
Yeah, Rusty, wherever you are. Your map's really cool. So ignore where it says Riverton, and then that river that's cutting down the west side of it. There isn't really a river here, but that pond in the middle of town is there. And so it's going to be like you can see the church there. It's kind of across the street from the church a little bit, in between the house with the red roof and then the long kind of yellow one, right on the edge there. So that's where they're set up, and that's kind of where Bart will inform you to head.
Hmm. Well, let's talk strategy here.
Kill him.
I do believe that should be the course of action. That is certain.
Maybe we need
Now,
to try to figure out where the kids are.
Yes, that should definitely be step one instead of
Okay,
killing them.
and then we kill them.
oh, that's fair. I had not thought about that. Might want to discover their location.
Yes. It would probably also be wise to see if they are coming in with backups, which is very likely.
Norn, is this, from what we've heard, is this following like their standard travel practice, or is this like out of turn?
As far as you know, this is pretty standard. This is kind of the reason you went the way they went, because they were
Okay,
going the
perfect.
other way, so you were hoping to meet them halfway. So this is all according to plan so far.
Okay. Can I cast augury? Quickly before we leave, I'll just kind of like mark in chalk and take out some different tokens and dice, and I'll just be checking the arcanic energy to see if fighting them would result in good results or bad results, or both or nothing.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know if I can like specify like would it. Man, I'm trying to think how I can specify this.
Let me pull up the spell description too. So this says, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action you plan to take within the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm trying
Ooh.
to
The spell doesn't
think.
take
Okay,
into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or the loss or gain of a companion.
yeah, so I'm gonna see. Oh, man, because we can't be really specific as far as like how will it go if we try and get. I guess, yeah, I'll ask. How would it go if we try and discover the location of the kids first? Like if we put the children first above attacking the sisters.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you think as a
Yeah.
DM.
Yeah, now I gotta play out. So if you inquired about the children before fighting them.
Yeah.
Is it a cop out to just say wheel and woe?
I mean,
Let's say, so you have like a handful of dice and knuckle bones. You kind of roll them. Let's say that 3 of them come up wheel, 1 of them comes up woe. How about that?
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah. 3 for good, 3 for bad. Okay.
3 for good, 1 for bad.
Oh yeah, 3 for good. Okay. Then I'll tell the group. Well, it looks like we might have some success in doing that.
Jenny, I think you're muted.
Nerd.
Yay, that's good news.
I guess probably what I would do first is say we should probably. Oh man, how might we get the information on the children?
Well,
What if we tell them that we're on their side?
what?
They might not believe us, but hey, we heard you're kidnapping children.
We want in.
What ritual we doing?
Give me a slice of the action.
Ah, ooh.
I don't know about that one.
Man, I hope no one cuts that audio clip out of context. We heard you kidnapping children. Give me a
I
slice of the
just-
action, please.
Yeah, that's looking back. It wasn't the best. Oh well, maybe someone will make a compilation. Dungeon stories out of context, part 1.
Dungeon Stories is over party.
What might we do to have the paladins assist us?
I feel like we need more evidence to
Or
incriminate the Afronis sisters.
what if we did nothing?
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Follow them?
Yeah, try to follow them without us or them noticing us. If we follow them, I mean, if they really kidnap the sisters, then, or unless these are Ublex copies.
Suppose I could determine if there's any magic within the items.
What about in the sisters?
Ooh.
It could tell me the magic inside them as well.
So perhaps we just let things slide overnight. We keep a sharp eye on them, and then if they leave, then we follow.
I think I could even... I mean, I only have one casting of this, but I can make myself invisible as I explore and peruse. The invisibility only lasts for a short while. Actually, it lasts an hour, so perhaps we can go there, peruse. The thing is, the eyes have seen us. They likely know our faces, if they can see through.
They've seen all of our faces?
Well, at least the eyes have. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you think Bart would be willing to help us out? Because currently the only thing that they know about Bart is that he's a paying customer if he's already had things in the tavern.
It's true. I'm just meaning as far as me being able to cast a spell.
Oh, yeah.
To identify. Man, Norton, I think that ring you gave me only had like one casting period in D&D Beyond.
Oh, really? It didn't reset?
Yeah, it didn't.
Can you unclick it? It recharges on a long rest. I'm sorry, I didn't.
I figured it wasn't a one-time use. The ring just dissolves the minute I...
Just like, well...
You never come visible again, and...
See, the
only
thing I see is either one, we can turn invisible and follow them at the end of the night, or I can turn invisible and discover any magical items that they're using. I suppose that is the main question here. Which would be the best use of that?
I would say whatever keeps the village safe. Perhaps it would be smarter for us to dispel the magic on the items. That way, if people purchase it, they're not putting themselves in danger. Or
true. Now, see, I can't dispel, merely identify.
Or maybe the damage has been done. I mean, we've made it pretty clear to numerous people that the Elthronis sisters are on our high list of suspicions. What if, I mean, the townsfolk are probably very upset with us pointing the finger at the Elthronis sisters.
That is a good point. Well, we've gotten good results about us trying to find the location of the children. So I say we try and do that.
Follow the Euphronis sisters back after they're done for the day.
If these Elthronis sisters go back.
That is true.
We've gotten good results about trying to find the location of the children within the next half hour or so. So I think that's a chance to take right now. I mean, worst case scenario, they'd recognize us through those eyes. Who knows if the creatures could have passed on the information, but worst case scenario, they identify us as a threat and we try and take them down, hopefully with the help of paladins. Best case scenario, they don't recognize us. I can check if anything's magic, and then we can follow them later the night. So
that works. Another thought. I could make an image of one of the children who were supposed to come back, and kind of make it appear a ways away in the eyesight of maybe one of the Euphronis sisters to see how they would react, if at all.
Oh, I like that thinking.
You know, I just thought, well, perhaps it's not much, but how long have the Elthronis sisters been alive?
I don't
I mean,
know that information.
Nobody just kidnaps children. Perhaps part of our motivations for our little venture here could be trying to figure out why.
You do know they're elves, so they live for a while.
They're elves.
Yeah.
How far away are we, Norin, from the location of the sisters, like where they've set up shop? Because if they're like, you know, if it's only like a couple minutes walk, then I'd probably start preparing detect magic.
Yeah,
so...
it's like at most 5 minutes. The tavern is set up pretty close to the market square, and that's where they set up too. So you guys are like totally within easy walking distance.
Okay, then right after Augury, I'll start casting detect magic, and just let everyone know that, you know, this will be ready soon, and then we can head out and see what we can find. We can be stealthy about it or not. I'll stay focused on the magic, and I'll let you handle that conversation however you may choose, I suppose. Or that distraction, Alondra.
Sounds good. Azel can take care of the talking if while I'm conjuring up the image of the child.
All right. Azel's gonna be our face.
Nothing wrong can come out of that.
Yeah, then I suppose I'll, as soon as like detect magic is, you know, about 5 minutes from being ready, I'll start heading over.
Okay. Are all three of you going? Or is...
Alondra's going, but she's gonna stay a ways back.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'll probably try to be like stealthy, but not.
You're not invisible yet?
Yeah, no, not invisible.
Okay.
And as she's walking, in her hand, she has a piece of fleece ready as one of the components that she needs for the spell.
Ooh.
So that they don't have to see her pull it out while they're in the courtyard or whatever.
Okay.
I'm guessing we're approaching.
Yes, you're speaking.
Yeah, you got signed up to be the face while you were.
Asshole.
Okay.
I'm looking for magic.
Okay, so you spend a little bit of time inside the room preparing that, and then begin walking as it begins to take place. So you come down the stairs of the tavern, make your way out onto the street, and walk kind of down the road toward where you have learned that they have their wagon set up for the shop. And from what you had heard from like your time in Rebelton, you got the sense that most of the time people are like rushing there and they have lines stretching like clear around town, but people seem to be avoiding them like the plague. So as you
Stand out.
yeah, as you begin to like approach them, you're one of a few. You're not the only person. There are a few of those like elderly people who are like so stuck in their ways that they're like they couldn't possibly be kidnappers. And
The
they
hardcore fans.
yeah, and you know the people who are just too stubborn to admit that they were wrong. Um, and then you know you and then there's you guys as you walk up. So you're not the only one. But as Aaron approaches, Alondra, you're hanging back, correct? What's your gap?
I want to say maybe like because I can do it within 30 feet.
Before we split up, I'll remind everyone that
Charging
we
battery.
have 3/4 good chance to find the location of the
Sweet.
kids.
It's all on you, Eagle.
Saying there's a chance.
Don't fuck it up.
What the hell's the plan? What am I talking about?
Sweet talk them.
You're just
That's where they
you're just
came from.
talking, Azel.
Sweet talk them.
So Azel and Aaron are approaching. Alondra,
What if
how
they're
far away
only
did you say you were?
crusty?
I want to be like. I want to say like, are there any buildings around the pond?
Yeah, there are a couple. You
Okay.
can see on that. So there are kind of two right by where you are. So I'll send a snap of the two in particular that it are, but there are two kind of like right there by where they are.
Okay. She would probably stand like within maybe like 15 feet away from the closest building, just because in her mind she's thinking of placing the image of Josephine in between the two buildings to like make it seem like if she's walking by.
Okay, sure. And what's the range on that?
It's 30 feet.
Okay, awesome. That works. Okay. So Alondra hangs back with her fleece in hand. Aaron and Azel, you continue walking toward the sisters. At this point, Aaron, your detect magic is activated. And with it activated, as you approach the sisters, both of them are completely cloaked in illusion magic. And their cart itself has that like necromancy that like the claws had, like the hands, is kind of in there as well. But so you definitely get the sense that some of the items have this aura, and then they are completely cloaked in illusion magic themselves.
Okay. Do I get the sense that this is just like covering their like face, or if I like cast identify on it, I would get a little bit more.
The illusion magic is around their whole body, not just their faces.
The disguising self.
And as you approach these sisters,
Oh,
This is why I stayed back, y'all.
so they look like elves. One of them is tall and beautiful, gorgeous, with like ivory white hair, and her eyes are gold like honey. The other sister is shorter, and she smells heavily of old fish, and she
Ugh.
is not attractive. Um, she
Wait.
she is she looks elven, but she has the same honey-colored eyes as her sister. Um, but that's kind of the two of it. They're you can tell that they're sisters, but definitely like one of them is very beautiful, very gorgeous. The other one is very not. But they have the same honey-colored eyes, so you can definitely tell that they're sisters. And like their facial features are similar enough to tell that they're related. And she smells the shorter one with she smells heavily of old fish as you approach it. You just kind of like takes over your nostrils as you approach.
hmm. Okay, is so I'm just like identifying magic in like different household items, right? There's no like weapons that glow up or anything like that.
No, no weapons. Yeah, it does just seem to be toys and vases and things like that.
Okay.
You don't see any magic weapons like on their person light up.
Yeah, okay. Um, hmm. Okay, let me. So I guess I'm able to create like a quill to write in something,
Yeah.
but I don't see it have any like range on it. There's not like any range listed. I can erase anything as long as. Oh, I guess it's a. Hmm.
Let me.
It's a quill, so I'm assuming I have to like actually write with it. It doesn't just like.
You
I guess that makes
you
sense.
create a quill in your free hand. Yes, yeah, you do
Yeah, I was
have to
gonna say.
hold
I
it.
guess it's not a magical quill. That solves that problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's probably. I'm gonna wait until they seem distracted, and then I'm going to try and cast Identify as I brush into one of them.
As you what into them?
I'm just gonna. I'm gonna look for like a moment when they're like distracted, where I can possibly put like my hand on their shoulder or something to cast Identify. Like I'm just looking for an opportune moment.
Okay. I will say you would know this as the caster of the spell. Um, oh, okay. You learn what spells, if you touch a creature, what spells currently affecting it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would say that that is doable. You can walk up like you're about to like browse the goods or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
and you release
browsing the
identify.
goods.
Yeah, you release identify. Which one do you place your hand on?
They looked the same, correct?
I mean, they looked related. One was like tall and gorgeous. The other was short
Oh,
and
that's right.
very kind of like
The
unattractive.
definitely gonna try and do the unattractive one. See what's going on there.
Okay. Um.
And for that, I'll use my ability to cast a ritual spell automatically.
Okay.
So I don't use a slot.
Yeah. So you
Yes,
walk
sir.
up and you kind of bump into her, place your hand on your shoulder, and release that that identify. Um, and as it comes out, it's got a verbal component. So you like speak the word as you put your hand down, um, and you learn that this magic that she is affected by does not seem to be a spell. It is not. It's not like detect magic or something like that. You get the sense from this magic that it is inherent. It is an ability that she possesses, some kind of magical ability.
Ah, okay.
And as you do that, the sisters are going to kind of turn and look at you, um, and
Girl, bye.
they'll in unison they'll say, "Oh yes, we were wondering when you were going to show up," and it's both of their voices layered over one another in unison.
That's creepy.
Me? No.
Yeah. Who are they saying this? They're saying this to me,
To
or
you,
like
and then
all of us?
they'll look to Azel as well. They'll say it to you, and then they'll kind of look in Azel's direction. Azel's not too far away from you, since he was going to be the talker according to the plan.
Yeah.
Such a sweetheart.
I know, right? Just volunteering for stuff, man. That's what
I
Hazel
did say I
does.
was waiting for a moment. Okay. Yeah. Dang it. Jenny, are you doing anything? Does Jenny see this?
I was going to cast my minor illusion of Josephine to see if they would have reacted in any other way, in any way at all.
So are you casting that now?
Yeah.
Okay. You hold out your hand, and the image of Josephine appears, um, and they will the taller one with the she'll kind of look at it, and she'll say, "Dear, you can come out now. Um, it's a nice trick. It looks like you've really mastered that that ability that you have, but if I mean, we sent, we had a plan in place that you've disrupted. So if you thought that we wouldn't know that, you might be a little more foolish than we've gathered."
Can I use the ring of invisibility?
You're gonna use it now?
I think now's a big enough fight, isn't it?
We're gonna fight?
Hazel's gonna stick out his hand and try to, like, shake their hand.
Yeah, I guess I'll wait and see if Azel's doing something. I'll wait and see what Azel's doing.
Yeah, so after hearing, like, the Alfrona sisters kind of after everything they said, Hazel's just gonna try to learn their names, I guess. I don't know if that's gonna help, but Hazel's just gonna reach out his hand to try to, like, give a good handshake. He's good. Hi, I'm Hazel.
The tall one will extend her hand and she'll shake yours and she'll say, "It's a pleasure, Hazel. Thank you."
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Charmed. Silly mama.
My name is Greta. And she'll gesture to the shorter one, and she'll say, "This, and this is my sister, Grime. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance at long last. We've been interested in you for so long now."
What might interest you?
This is great.
Now Grime, the shorter one, will speak up and she'll say, "It's been so fun watching you struggle to tie all the strings together."
I hate her voice.
"It's been so amusing."
Alondra would have used one of her features that she has to cast invisibility on herself
Okay.
before rounding the corner.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Greta and Grime. I gotta be honest. I'm a little. How do I put this?
Shocked.
It's just This wasn't the behavior I was expecting from you.
"And what were you expecting, darling?" And then Grime will say, "Were you expecting us to kill you? You thought we were going to stab you? You thought we were going to eat you, maybe? Did you think we were going to eat you, maybe?
Oh my god!
What did you think we were going to do?"
Oh.
Maybe. That's crazy. No, why would you do that? No, it just kind of looks like you're maybe snatching kids.
Us?
What are you?
What are we?
Why are they laughing, Aaron? Aaron, why are they laughing?
I did wonder how long it was going to take you to get to that question. Well, be honest with yourself, Aaron. Do you want to spoil the surprise? Do you want the fun to end? It was only just beginning, wasn't it? We were just starting to have fun.
This is a freaking trap.
Never been one for fun.
You have that vibe about you. You have that energy, not one for fun. Yes, it doesn't surprise me.
What the hell is going on?
Alondra's gonna stealthily make her way towards Aaron and Hazel.
Okay, make a stealth check. You have disadvantage because you're armor, but advantage because invisibility. Yes! So just a straight roll.
Straight roll, straight roll. Holy thing. Okay, that is a 17.
17? That's pretty good. You feel pretty confident that you're moving pretty quietly. You're being really careful, and you manage to get within 5 feet of Aaron and Hazel.
Okay.
So how did you picture this encounter going? You found us. We're speaking. What's next for us? How does this play out?
Well, I'm gotta be really honest. I thought you didn't want to be found, so I thought maybe might fight us.
I mean, sure, we didn't want to be found. Who... Do people ever want to be found? I mean, I'm sure some people do, but it's... We can adapt. We're smart creatures, and...
It's not helping your case.
And what would?
Handing over the kid.
Why... Can you explain why some of the things that you might be selling have this weird thing where maybe a couple eyeballs come out of them, or things turn into slime?
Confess
Oh,
your sins.
oh yeah, I've got this one. I can answer this question.
Of course you can.
Yeah, the eyeballs, this so we can watch ya. We can see what it is that's going on. That's why we've got the eyeballs. Aren't they lovely? Our big sister made them.
Oh,
And,
they're just splendid.
Wait, big sister?
the slime.
Three of the-
The slime is a wonderful tool, isn't it? It's so fun. It learns, and it grows, and once it's big enough, it can be whoever it wants to be. And that's thanks to our mother. Isn't she wonderful?
Do you all live together?
Yes. Yes, we do. It's quite the coven we have, isn't it?
Family karma.
Yeah, cool family tree. Why do these things? I mean, there's a rumor that you guys are taking kids, or not necessarily a rumor. A rumor we might have spread.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone thought that until you three came along. Speaking of three, I can only see two of you. I did ask your friend to step out, didn't I?
Why would she want to show herself? And how can you prove that you're not going to do us harm? If you can prove that you're not going to do us harm in any way, shape, or form using any magic or tool, I can promise you that I can get Alondra out.
Okay, way to say my name.
Well, if those are the circumstances, I mean, we would be fools to promise that now, wouldn't we?
You're the ones that want her out.
It's
Well,
fine.
maybe she's standing right in front of you. And you're just blind as a bat.
I'm a freaking sheep.
Maybe she is. Well, Aaron, you asked what we wanted from you. I mean, if we were to have our way, we would like for you to leave us be, but I have a feeling you won't let that pass now, will you?
Depends what you're trying to accomplish, but let me know.
This plan of ours, I would hate to confuse you. It might go above your heads, and I'm not sure we have time for it. Let's just say that with these children, we're offering them an opportunity to be something more than they could ever have been if they had stayed home.
They're gonna freaking suck.
And what is it that you're offering them to be?
Like us. We'll let them join the family.
What? Oh, that's creepy. Oh, heck nah.
And what's so good about being an Elfrona or an Elfronus, whatever?
Would you like us to show you what's so good about it?
Yes.
Get on with it.
Oh boy.
With that, the illusion is going to fade away, and
Yes.
the sisters are going to reveal themselves for what they truly are. And you see in front of you some truly foul-looking creatures. They look to be humanoid women. One of them, the taller one, that was Greta. She has this like sickly green skin with this bulbous pointed nose and long greasy white hair that flows down to her knees. She's clothed in rags that are rotting. She has long claw-like fingernails. Her sister has kind of a deep blue skin. Her hair is patchy and wet and slimy and looks to look green like seaweed.
Ugh.
She has like scales kind of covering her body in places. Her face looks horribly disfigured. Her eyes kind of bulge like that of a fish. She's clad in like a skirt made of seaweed. Go ahead and make Arcana checks for me.
All of us?
Ooh, heck yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Could I like
Oh boy.
cast it, the ring of invisibility in response to
Ooh.
that?
It's gonna. This kind of dropping of the veil, I guess, is gonna kind of have a little bit of a reaction from Hazel, but it's not gonna be a whole lot. I feel like.
Yes, Aaron, you can turn invisible.
Okay, yeah, I'll go invisible.
Azel, how do you react immediately here?
I think Hazel just kind of blinks and like. I can't help but feel like that only made things a little more confusing. How does that answer my question? Or
Oh, we'll get to the good stuff. Trust me. And that is where we will end this episode of Dungeon Stories.
Oh,
Ooh,
damn.
dirty.
15.
So, you guys have found the Elfrona sisters. They have made themselves known to you.
Son of a bitch.
And they have shown their cards a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, with that, we'll pick up from there next week on the next episode of Dungeon Stories. Everyone, thank you so much for listening or for watching. It means the world to us. We really appreciate you tuning in again. We hope you're excited for the next one. It's awesome. We love having you here. We love making the show. Thanks again to our friends, Sword Coast. Nope, not Sword Coast Soundscapes. We're not doing them right now. That's old school Dungeon Stories. D&D Beyond, Roll20, and Hero Forge. Definitely check them out. And check out Sword Coast Soundscapes too on YouTube. They're really good ambient noise for your tabletop role-playing games. And with that, we say it every time, but just, if you could help spread the word about us, that helps us out a lot, helps us grow. We're on TikTok now. I broke down and made a TikTok, so I'm posting some clips onto TikTok. So check that out. It's just I think Stories Dungeon is what I went with the username, so it matches up with our Instagram and Twitter. So Stories Dungeon on TikTok, so you can find us there and see some more clips, and then I might at some point do like DM advice and other general D&D stuff. We'll see. We'll see if I can make myself do that. We'll see if I have the confidence. But with that, everyone, check us out. It means the world to us. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.